All right, we are back in the house, and of course, this is Donovan Sadiq. I'm the guy that's going to throw a rock and then hide my hand. Damn right I'll do it, because I just don't give a damn, just like you don't. With my co-host, D.K. in the house. We didn't see your show Sunday because I was on hiatus. Sorry about that. I had to go to a wedding.
It's okay.
Very, very important. But go ahead and take us into
All right. So, as he said, I am D. Some call me Demetra, but you call me what you want. As always, on Loving the Skin, I'm in. We always try to promote and understand the issues that affect Black people in hopes of creating some constructive dialogue and reaching solutions that ultimately help us rise to our rightful positions. With that being said, as you see the topic, don't blame Cardi B. Well, of course, you know there's a little bit more to it than that. The whole title should be, don't blame Cardi B, blame us for falling for it. Well, what is it? Over the last couple of months, or maybe even a year or so, since the inception of Cardi B, everybody, you name it, has been enamored by her. She's been a talk of the town, and I've seen a few things Cardi B, and she is very humorous and entertaining. She's like a lovely girl. But, you know, for those of us who are a little bit conscious, or like to say that we're conscious, you know, you listen to her music, you're like, okay, what's really going on here? And so lately, within the last week or so, Rolling Stone did an article on Cardi B, which is not weird because Rolling Stone does articles on musical artists and whatnot. And so the very first paragraph of this article reads like this, and I'm quoting word for word. Cardi B is butt naked in the doorway of her hotel bathroom, yelling about her vagina. On a mid-October evening, she's readying herself for a college show in Baltimore, and the toiletries provided by the hotel aren't to her liking. The soap gave me the yeast infection of 2017, she hollers in her thick Bronx accent. My pussy was burning like a Mexican taco. So, I thought, okay, let me be fair. Let me go and look at some other articles, some other articles of other, you know, big time artists and celebrities, and none of them that I saw. I'm not saying that they haven't. Mm-hmm. They didn't start off like this. Like with Madonna, who was probably the most salacious person on the planet
in the 80s. Yeah.
Even now, some would say in her 60s or damn near. Her started off as we, you know, walk into Madonna's, you know, sprawling home in the States.
No, but when I say 80s, that's like the time of the 80s where, you know, things were a little bit more.
Right, and, you know, some people even argue Madonna is like the litmus test, or she was the one who started this whole bad girl image or whatever the case is. And so here we are, again, you know, and then Cardi B has gotten engaged. Which, so you're laughing.
Damn fool.
Which, you know, everybody's happy when people get engaged, and you
can't turn no hoe into a housewife. Well, but go ahead and try.
Okay, let me.
I'm sorry. I just
so she's gotten engaged, and, you know, everybody's all like, yeah, good for Cardi B. And I agree, good for Cardi B. However, I looked into who she's engaged to. Now, she's engaged to some guy named Offset, who is part of a group called Migos, which I guess is some very wildly popular rap group. I can't think of one thing that they sing about.
Wait, they're Migros or Negroes?
Migos. Okay, gotcha. And so Offset, I guess they met in February or whatever the case is. And so he has two baby mamas that had children average. 21 days apart.
That's about average.
So, so she's engaged to this guy. You know, nobody's perfect. So, hey, you know. But the guy before that she was with, while she was on Love and Hip Hop, a show I've never watched, admittedly, he was in jail while she was filming the show, and she would rant and rave about how she's down for him. She's going to hold him down. And he was in jail for a 4-year bid for a gun charge.
Right. How did that work for you, bro?
Well, she's now engaged to somebody
that's what I'm saying. How'd that work for you? She's going to hold you down.
Well, you never know.
That's how they hold us down.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, you got to move on to greener pastures, especially when your career blows up. You know, I'm not really mad at it about that. Sometimes you got to leave the dead weight behind, you know.
I'm with you.
And so I thought, okay, everybody's talking about Cardi B. Now, you would think, you know, what your XXLs and your Vibe magazines and all these, you know, the urban magazines will be talking about it, but you have entities like USA Today, CNN, Essence, and Forbes. And so I'm thinking, okay, what is going on here? Because again, I'm not saying she's a bad person. I don't think she is,
Make
but
your money, girl.
the way she's being promoted, and they used to say, they used to say you can't talk in the black community. You can't talk bad about Jesus, Barack Obama, and Beyonce. Now you got to add Cardi B to the list because you will get sliced and diced talking about this girl. And so I'm like, why? Why can't people see what's going on here?
Because the ratchet life is it.
Well,
wait, and you can't talk about welfare queens and weeds. Don't forget that. That's very big.
It's all about how you talk about it.
Okay, gotcha.
And so here she is. She's being heavily promoted, and we know it's not a secret. We talk about this a lot on the show. We know that images of black people in white media is not really that good. It's usually, you're right, it's negative. It's the ratchetness. It's, the high drama, high sexualized. So we're not really surprised. But the reason why I said, well, don't blame Cardi B. Girl, get your money. Get your money.
Like I said, if you got to do the whole thing,
right?
Not the whole thing, the whole thing.
Oh God!
Hey, if that's how you make your money, make your money.
Get your money. But I blame us for falling for it because all these role models out there or people you can look to.
And I'm just going to say that if you're going to do the whole life and all this like that, you do not be surprised that especially those of you guys listening that are parents out there. This is not a woman that you want your kids to look up to. Period.
Right, but that's not the case though. I mean, she is just very uplifted person in the black community and I guess the Hispanic community because she is Hispanic.
Dominican.
Yeah, but she we're all the same, so what difference does it make? But yeah, this is who people are and people are saying kudos to her. She came from rags to riches. And yeah,
a lot of people come from rags to riches. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Look at all these goddamn athletes.
But that's what the word on the street is. She's come from rags to riches.
Nothing spectacular. Maybe she fucked her way a little bit better than most, but her story isn't nothing new.
Well, again, that's what's being promoted to us. She is just, like I said, when you have Forbes and CNN and USA talk, not that some people will argue what kind of a news source they are, but
talk to me in 7 years and see if we're talking about Cardi B.
Well, no, and that's what a lot of people are saying too.
Because I remember Nicki Minaj that one time, this real big thing, and nobody talks about Nicki Minaj.
Well, they actually still do, maybe not like
they did. That's what I'm saying. No matter what artist is, Michael Jackson, I don't care how high you achieve, eventually the genre changes, and there's nothing worse than a 60-year-old rapper.
But yeah, so then how do we? I mean, I guess maybe I'm confused because why are we looking up to her? Yeah, like she's a rags to riches, but like you said, hell, I'm sure a lot of your neighbors are rags to riches.
Exactly.
Or
I'm rags to riches.
Right. To some degree, I'm rags to riches. I mean, hell, or riches to rags.
Riches to rags. Yeah. You been tripped up a couple of times.
Yeah, But I mean, so other than that, I don't really get it because I'm thinking if I'm Cardi B. And I'm putting my vagina out there on Rolling Stone.
And then admitting you got a yeast infection. Lord have mercy.
Right, like where is the discretion? But this is who we are looking up to. So again, I'm not blaming Cardi B. I'm blaming us for continuing to fall for the low-hanging fruit and just the scraps.
Hold on, I want everybody to watch this.
He's beating his head against the table for those of you who can't see.
Oh my God, go ahead.
But so... I blame us. I blame us for falling for the okie doke.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Now, I don't know about you, but it's like I tell my kids. These people are not your role model. Me and your mom are your role models.
Well, and I agree. Nobody should be more influential over the lives of your children than you. Now, if you or your child is looking to Cardi B as a role model or some sort of inspiration, I'm just going to go ahead and say I think there might be something wrong with you. I mean, I'm just saying because I'm 46, so some people will say I'm old and some people say I'm not. I don't think I'm that old to where having some discretion is out of fashion.
Well, what guy wants to hear about a woman talking about her vagina?
Or what? I mean, I get it. Rolling Stone can be considered a risque magazine sometimes.
But like I said, she's promoting that because that's her genre. She wants to promote hoism. That's fine. Do your thing. But do not be mad when you're 50 years old and everybody's looking at you like, get the fuck up out of here.
Because to me, it's like, and she just turned 25. So
and all pussy all used up. I mean, that's what I would suspect, based on what we're reading and what we're seeing. And real quick, for those that don't know who Cardi B is and who we're talking about, please take a look at this clip, and we'll give you a quick shot. And that's going to be Cardi B. So let's take a look. So that is Cardi B, and go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't even know what her shtick is. What her
dick sucking.
I didn't say that. Cause I see it.
Hoism.
I mean, I don't know what.
Not toism. Hoism.
I don't know if she's out there sucking dingling or not. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like, again, if that's her thing, great, you make your money. But to me, I think there's really something wrong with us to where we put those type of people on a pedestal. Now, back in the old days of Hollywood, I don't know if you want to lump her in with Hollywood, women like this would have been ran out of town because that industry, and I guess we can't really hold Hollywood to a high esteem now.
Heidi Weinstein. Yeah. And I was going to bring that up because, I mean, I'm not saying that that's what she's doing, but we've heard of the casting couch. This has been going on for years.
But even still.
And if that's your shortcut to be successful and you've got to sell yourself like that, I don't know.
But even the women up until recently who were on the casting couch, they didn't come out and say, "Woo, shit!
Right.
I just wore Harvey Weinstein ass out."
Who was that famous actress? No. She was a reporter. What's her name? Barbara Walters.
Oh yeah.
Didn't she Not saying that she was thrown out there, but in her early days, she slept with certain people.
I keep saying I want to read her book. It's called Audition. Because it just seems very interesting. She might have talked about it, but that's nothing new.
Yeah.
Especially in the black community, we know that a lot of black actresses. That was something that was expected of them.
Gabrielle Union.
Well, I'm even going back as far as your Dorothy Dandridge.
But I'm just saying most recently, Gabrielle Union is a known thought. I mean, she's a known thought in Hollywood.
Yeah, well, but I don't know. I just think, just from a black perspective, black women, that was something that was almost par for the course. Yeah, you want this role. Yeah. Dorothy Dandridge talked about it, said,
Sleep with the director.
Yeah, that these whites, what she said, and I'm paraphrasing, but she kind of said it. You white boys always expect us black stars or actresses to drop our panties.
Put that monkey out there.
See, I don't know if she said that, but drop our panties at the drop of a dime so you guys can give us a role in something. Mm-hmm. So that's nothing new.
So have we progressed at all since the 50s? That's 70 years ago.
I guess.
Isn't that sad?
I mean, I guess not, but. My sister made a good point, and I know we're transitioning away from Cardi B, but I just like to finish that off because we got other things we want to talk about by saying I think there's something wrong with us if Cardi B is now the person to look up to. Again, I'm not hating on Cardi B, but I'm hating on us, the fact that we keep making these people famous.
Well, think about this, and just make a long story short. We have 2 generations of young men that have been raised by single mothers by choice. Because they made a choice to be single mothers. Not all of them, but most of them did. Because that's the way to get out in the system, and we've been talking about that for a long, long time. So these young men who have been raised by these so-called independent black women, whatever you want to call themselves, they don't even keep a standard of a woman. To them, that is, I saw my mom have multiple boyfriends, and she was selling her coochie out there, and or she was on the pole. I got a sister that went to the pole. This is now the standard. It's a transition of in my opinion, generational transition of standards. The standard has been lowered.
So you saying standards as far as that's how women are acting, or
yes, the younger generation that is now it's more acceptable because back in the day, there's no way I'm going to let you.
My father always says this too. He says, back in the day, you could tell a hoe from a housewife.
Yes,
he says, but you can't nowadays because, my dad is 73, but back then, women, you could tell who, I mean, listen, if you was a freak in the sheets, that didn't resonate when you walked to the grocery store
and
or whatever.
Knew.
Like my dad said, women had clothes on. You couldn't see all the body parts and all this other stuff.
And even if you desired a woman, no matter what kind of clothes she had, back in the 70s, they had the hips things and things like that. I mean, really nice fashion back then. But you, for a guy, you see a young woman in her clothes, just the image of what's underneath those clothes was something that you strive for. That's why you constantly bothered her to get with her.
Right.
Now, you don't even have to do that. It's all out there for you just to lay out.
Right. It is unfortunate, and I do agree with you that standards they've dropped significantly. They really have. I'm not saying that people should walk around, if you're speaking about how a person dresses, I'm not saying a person should walk around with you know, a moo on or whatever. I think you should be able to wear what you feel.
Right.
But I do think that there's just the standards are just
well.
And like I said, I'm not that old, but when I think about
Yeah, you are. No, go ahead.
when I think about Cardi B being all the rave, and then gosh, people want to cut you if you say something bad. Not that you even, but
maybe
it's like,
that's a young person because I don't really, in my circles we don't talk about it.
But I don't talk about it either, but I see it.
Yeah.
But my thing is, when has it gotten to the point that if you say something, maybe it's an opinion, and my thing is an opinion, I'm not saying I'm right, or you're just trying to ask questions and speak truth to power, you're hating.
Because women our age and our parents' age are competing with these younger girls to why that is an issue. See what I'm saying? When there is no competition, okay, my mom is 67 years old. As far as she's concerned, there ain't no damn competition.
But why? I guess what I'm trying to figure out is why is somebody like Cardi B revered? And she's, you know,
because the society standards have lowered to a point to where it does not matter.
I mean, like I said, I didn't read the whole article, but this was the very first line.
When you were in high school and you have the option to be a stripper, and that is something that is not to be ashamed of, our standards are gone.
Well, I don't care. I think being a stripper is something to be ashamed of.
Shit, it is.
I mean, it's the path of least resistance, and I'm not even putting all the.
And I was going to bring that up. Path of least resistance.
Yeah, it's not
easy money.
All the onus is not on the woman. I think it's on the man too, because he's sitting up there throwing his dollars.
But think of what kind of man is throwing his dollars in there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's a two-way street.
Not necessarily. No. But in and out of jail. Mostly.
I don't even know, because I can't. You probably can speak to it more than me.
I can speak to it.
I haven't been in no strip club.
Yeah, I can speak to it, and I'm telling you, most of those guys, if it's a high-end type club, which you have in Alaska and places like that, where like the Bunny Ranch in Nevada, this is a business, and they treat it as a business. But we're talking about the average person, me and you, average people.
The dirty.
Right, that goes to the nasty kitty. Right?
That sounds nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
It's called the Nasty Kitty, and it's a little shack that was put up. I mean, come on, you had T.I. he had a job interview process in Atlanta to go dance at his, and girls were showing up. Now, okay, the girls
with
are
resumes.
One thing. Yeah, with resumes. Now, the girls are one thing. They were driven there probably by their moms waiting in the parking lot with the kids.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a prude or any of that kind of stuff, but damn.
But it's a vicious circle, because if you ask most strippers, you say, well, or people that, that's you're an entertainer, however you want to categorize yourself. You say, well, where's your boyfriend? Oh, he's in. All of them, almost 80% of the time, have the same exact story, because if you had a real man, you wouldn't be on the pole.
Your man wouldn't let you on the pole.
That's right. So she's doing that.
At home.
Right, yeah. Or, she's doing that because he's doing a bid and she's got to put money on his books and all that other stuff. And that's a fact.
Right.
So
I get, again, I don't blame Cardi B. I blame us.
Nope, make your money, Cardi B. I'm not hating on you. Suck as much dick as you need to suck. Bend over as much as you can, or give that image.
No, I mean,
I'm not saying she's doing it. I'm just saying, if that hoism image, if that's what's going to get you your money, get you your money.
But it's our fault. I say it's our fault because we won't educate ourselves on what is going on with us and the institutional and systemic racism that's going on, especially with the media. We know the media is not ever going to promote positive images of us, and you have all these high-end and well-known entities that are promoting people like Cardi B. Yeah. Well, why not promote somebody else who's doing reputable things?
That's because our people, we love drama. That's why you have the Atlanta Housewives. They watch shows like that.
It's more to it than that.
True.
It's because there's value in keeping the sleeping giant sleep.
I know that.
There's value in. I know you know that.
Absolutely.
But for people who are listening, that is value in doing that, because if we allow these black people to wake up and fully realize that they are true kings and queens, then we're in trouble.
I said this a few weeks ago, if you remember. Why is it that you got these people that, like right now, what you're saying, there's going to be somebody in the comment section that is going to say something detrimental to what you're saying, because you're not saying anything negative.
Well, that's fine.
Anything, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but as my dad always says too, people always want to argue things they know nothing about.
Right.
Educate yourself before you argue with, because one of my favorite quotes, I'm probably going to mess it up because I'd like to speak really fast. It says, it's hard to have have a battle of the wits with someone who is unarmed.
or is witless.
Right, and I refuse to do that. Now, if you want to argue with me, or because I won't argue with you, but if you want to have a decent conversation, some dialogue, so we can try to understand each other's viewpoint, I'm with that.
Right.
But I won't even entertain you, calling me names or whatever, just because you have no word value.
Well, yeah. A better example is this: me and you are constantly on the opposite sides of our opinions.
Right.
Which is, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's a way to do it.
There's a way to do it.
Right.
Exactly. You're a woman. You're going to stand up for womanhood, and I'm all for that. I'm a male chauvinist pig.
Oh, God.
Whatever.
Hey, you said it, I did.
Well, I'm an Ike Turner, Tommy Sotomayor person, but that doesn't make me a bad person. I just said, hey, this is what I believe, what I do. But you can do it in a way to where it is intelligent, and we exchange ideas. Because there are some things that you've told me that I'm like, yeah, you know what? I got to change my opinion on that.
Right, but that's what it's about. We're supposed to learn from each other, opposed to, well, I'm right and you're wrong, and if you don't share my opinion, there's something wrong with you. Like, I constantly have to nicely remind people. Some people will say maybe it's not so nice, but I like to remind people when I comment on stuff and they try to, as some people say, come for me, I don't answer to you.
Right.
Now, if you want to ask me in a way that is conducive to a good conversation, great, but don't try to chastise me on something I said, because I'm not going to bow down. Right, I'm not going to bow down to you. Right. Who are you?
Keyboard gangsters.
I mean, because I wouldn't expect for you to do that to me.
Right, keyboard gangsters. Have you seen some of those videos where the people who are talking shit on the internet, then the person IPs them and it goes to their home?
Yes, I have.
I've seen that.
Ass. I've seen that.
I mean, this stuff is actually happening. It's real.
It's easy to get tough behind a keyboard, but when you walk up and see somebody in the store, it's like, oh, you shop here?
Right. I mean, I get threatened, not constantly anymore, but when people that don't like me will say something to me, I just laugh. Because it's like, you ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but as long if you put hands on me, then that's gonna make a believer out of you.
Yes, exactly. and I can't wait.
Right.
I can't wait.
To dust tomorrow,
Exactly. I mean, you get it on camera. I don't care where it's
at.
at.
Jones on.
Exactly. I have so much aggression. I would love somebody just to open up a camera.
He made me do it.
Yep. Roll the tape, officer. You see what happened here? Boom. Defended myself.
You see, I tried to restrain myself.
Right.
Not very long, though.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, it's been going on a long time. I'm not mad at her. I mean, if that's the image you want to portray, go ahead and portray that image and make as much money. I mean, Mae West did it using her sexuality.
But it was a way to do it, though. I doubt very seriously Mae West says, oh, the soap gave me a yeast infection 2017.
Ratchet.
My pussy was burning like a Mexican taco.
Now, Ratchet. What did I tell you?
That's
Ratchet. Wait. Ratchet life.
But that ain't even ratchet. That's disgusting. You are a disgusting individual.
But that's Ratchet life. And since we're looking at that, let's see this clip. Yes, bitch. Yes. Yes, that's what the people want to see. Because, again, if we were just throwing up stuff like Wilma Rudolph and
Michelle
Obama, nobody would watch this
be
channel.
Like, okay, where the ratchets at?
Right.
I totally agree. But see, that's where I'm at intellectually. I like to listen to people who are going to add value to me. Like I said again, no shade to Cardi B, but I couldn't learn nothing. She couldn't teach me nothing.
Right.
And I think that's what we need to, where we need to be in society. What can I learn? Now, maybe she can teach people on what not to do.
Right.
The opposite, or how to behave in an opposite manner, but it's our fault for falling for this nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, one day we're going to realize, as Tyler Perry said, Spike Lee said about Tyler Perry, this is malt liquor for black people, and Cardi B is malt liquor for black people.
Yes, absolutely. And kudos to you for using that, and for those ratchets out there and people who, again, there's a lot of channels out here that you can watch, and if you don't like what we're saying, just keep it moving. But there's a lot of people now that ain't letting you trolls come on here and change the narrative or whatever. Again, fuck you, and keep it moving. And that's how I feel about it. But kudos to you, because what you're doing intelligently is you're using the Cardi B vernacular and making people think about, is this what...
Well, I'm trying to.
Yeah. So a big thing. But since we're talking about entertainment, what I want to talk about is, for those of you that have not learned or heard, Steve Harvey has a new show.
Oh, yes.
And it's called Stevie, or Steve.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's
Stevie?
called Steve.
Okay, Stevie.
Now, remember, his show initially was taped in
Chicago. Yes.
And his contract was up for renewal, and they would not.
Well, no, he didn't want to. He wanted to move.
No. I'm gonna get to that.
Oh, okay.
No. He wanted a raise. They said, "Nigga, you ain't getting no goddamn raise."
That's what they said.
Yes,
okay.
he wanted a raise in his new negotiations, and he wanted to move the show. And they said no. Right? Now, remember, Steve Harvey is that Coonan nigga that went to go hang with Donald Trump.
Right.
You know, he's with the white folks, so they should have gave him the thing. He did what he had to do. Yo, massa, I'm gonna do. I should get my raise, whatever it is. So they said, nah, nigga, step and fetch it. You ain't doing it. So him and his production company relocated here to California. They've done some tapings and stuff. And the initial drive, Steve Harvey was averaging 2.2, whatever the rating.
And his show was doing well in Chicago.
Yeah, it was doing well in Chicago. It had a thing. But this new show came in at 1.4. And they're saying that a lot of it has to do with him meeting the Trump and the black people being totally turned off at how this nigga shits on black people constantly.
Yeah. Well, I read the same article where his ratings are suffering and they believe it's because of the Trump thing. I think it's something deeper, though. I think the Trump thing has something to do with it, but Steve Harvey actually has a saying that says, dance with the person who brought you.
Sure.
Which means don't try, but which so obviously he's not taking his own advice. I mean, even in marriage and the show, but I think that is apropos to what's going on because we know black people got Steve Harvey to where he is. White folks was not laughing at those corny ass jokes, going to Def Comedy Jam and all these other things to watch him, and so that's how it is though. Once black people get some of these celebrities to where they are, and then the white paychecks start coming in, it's like what did it say? Sophia, The Color Purple, when the white lady wanted her to drive him home.
I don't know
them either. That's what they do to us.
Right.
Well, I don't know y'all no more.
Right, but I like his strategy for the simple fact that he went up there under the aspiration, like, what the niggas gonna do?
Yeah, thank you, poo-poo on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, but now he's seeing that with his ratings tanking and the money isn't coming, because he only went up there for a photo op to enhance his portfolio. Look, I'm with the president.
But it backfired on him.
Right.
He thought that, because Malcolm X said it best. He said they being white folks, always reach out to the entertainers, the athletes and stuff to come up and sit down and, talk to them in hopes that, they'll go back out to the rest of the black people and say, oh, he's
a nice
all
guy.
Right.
Yeah, the mass is
so,
good.
And he said it'd be a line of Negroes waiting to do it. And Steve Harvey was just one of those people. He thought he was going to come out there. So, I go golfing with him too. He's all right. He thought we was going to say, well, if Steve says he's all right.
Right. Why is it that when in the black community, our leaders are always entertainers or sports athletes?
That is a good question. And I would say it's because overall, we like to be entertained. And so what's the best way to make the medicine go down? A spoonful of sugar,
honey,
and the stuff that we need is not always entertaining. I like to be entertained. I'd be lying to say I know I like to watch stuff that looks like paint drying. I'd be lying, but sometimes we gotta get the raw information so we can be better. So they're gonna send entertainers because that's who we look up to. Hell, how is it that a Cardi B or any of these other shows?
Yeah, why are we talking about entertainment when we should be talking about a former general in the Army who is now the chief of staff, talking about, well, slavery wasn't that bad.
Right.
Wait a minute, you're in the modern age. Slavery, and I just get so upset about this, especially, I know I got some friends that I spent a lot of time in the military.
24 years.
I do not understand how anybody can open their mouth and say, well, you got to compromise. How do you compromise slavery? How do you do that?
What do you compromise about? What's the compromise?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Who wants to be a slave? How do you compromise that?
Well, I actually watched the slave narrative, and I read the book about 10 years ago.
I read the book.
And they were talking about the slaves. One slave was saying that she would pick 300 pounds of cotton a day, and that was the limit, or the what they had. That was expected, 300 pounds a day. So let's say you have a cotton shirt
jacket.
on.
Cotton.
How much does that weigh? Not even a pound.
Not even a pound.
So can you imagine being held to the standard of picking 300 pounds of cotton a day.
Right. Watch 12 Years a Slave. They were picking cotton out there, and they were out there. That girl was out there for a long time, and she was the best picker.
Up to sundown. And if they didn't pick this cotton, they got beat severely. Right. And so you ask yourself, how much, if you got to pick 300 pounds of cotton a day, it must be worth something. So I posted on my page, and a friend of mine went on and he pulled up the increments of how much cotton costs. Some cases per pound, it was like $82. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I said, well, there you go. That's where white wealth comes from. Mm-hmm. And so here you are saying, if somebody's telling you we need to compromise, of course you see why they want us to compromise.
Well, what I'm saying is,
compromise and bend your ass over and keep making us rich.
No. What I'm saying is that was then. We're talking about in today's modern world.
Are we supposed to compromise now?
No. In the modern world, how can you come out of your mouth and say, well, the Civil War was started because the people didn't compromise? There was the compromise of 1854. There happened.
Right.
Slavery is wrong in any form.
Yeah, like Middle Passage wrong. I mean, before we even got here.
So here is a 4-star general that everybody says, oh, he is so respected and he is so this, that. No, you're a fucking redneck and you just now fucking exposed yourself.
Right.
And from now on, instead of calling you a general, I'm going to call you a goddamn private, because to think like that is ridiculous. Slavery in any form can't be compromised. Well, it's either wrong or it's not.
But let me help you out, because I'm just as mad. I just try not to get mad because I understand.
I'm about to break this goddamn.
Well, I know you understand it too, but you think about it. White people don't. This is what people gonna say. Right. Well, I'm throwing a race card or whatever. But I just think there's something wrong with you if you are trying to make slavery happen, even in modern day, trying to tell people it wasn't that bad, or it was a compromise, and y'all should get over it. Because for one thing, your people wasn't out there picking no cotton, and it wasn't just about picking cotton. Like, okay, you guys pick cotton,
you're wrong there. You're wrong, because there were white slaves. You got to remember, they were indentured. They came from England, and they were indentured. Oh, so after so many years, they can work themselves out of slavery, and they were given apprenticeships.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And I just think, I think for one thing, white people who say, get over slavery and slavery wasn't that bad.
Fuck you.
They don't really know their own history, because they were the perpetrators of the most brutal thing that was
genocide
done to a people. And yet they can fix their mouths and say, oh, you should get over slavery. Wasn't that bad? You know what? We ain't going to never get over goddamn slavery. Exactly. Not ever, not one time. Right. And again, that's why there's value in keeping the sleeping giant sleep, because if black people fully wake up and realize what was done to them, we would stop doing some of the things that we do.
Stop buying their fucking products.
Stop watching this garbage that they allow to go on TV about us. Stop believing in these narratives. I mean, just the whole gamut of things we will stop doing.
Now, when I read that article today, I was very upset because, I know there's a bunch of rednecks and people that have their history. Now, as somebody who knows history, I read a lot of history. I have a degree in history. Now, am I for removing these monuments and stuff? Of course not. Now, some monuments need to go certain places, in my opinion. But yeah, if you don't remember your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Right.
But for you in the modern age, motherfucker, you weren't a slave either. I wasn't a slave. So I am never going to justify any person being enslaved. I mean, I have a hard time leashing my dog.
Right.
So when these Confederates, and that's what I call him, Private Confederate Kelly, you're not an honorable man. Fuck you and your son, if that's how you feel, because bigot beget bigot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I understand you lost your son in the Iraq War. Good. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, and not only that, I mean, because it's more his country to fight for than it is ours.
Right.
You know? But especially now that like you said, he's exposed himself saying that slavery wasn't that bad. All righty then.
No, he's saying slavery was the result of people not compromising. There were several compromises. The Missouri...
what they got to do with black people? That sounds like some white people shit.
No, but what I'm saying is, to justify slavery and say that it was okay.
I know what I'm saying, but that ain't have nothing to do with us. That was them not being able to compromise. How about y'all should have compromised when y'all was bringing us over here in the Middle Passage?
Right. When Lincoln was elected, use your fucking history. He said he did not want the extension of slavery into the free states. But the Southerners attacked Fort Sumner. Read your fucking history. Military history, Private Kelly.
And what a lot of people don't realize, too, they'll run around talking about how Abe Lincoln freed slaves because he was an honorable man.
No, hell no.
That nothing be far from the truth.
Abe Lincoln's whole thing was to preserve the Union at any cost.
Right.
He only freed the slaves in the states that remained loyal that were Confederate states that remained into the Union. But matter of fact, that's where we get Iberia, the country of Iberia, because you have Monrovia and stuff like that. Because Abe Lincoln's idea was, because they were saying, what are we going to do with these Negroes after the Civil War is over? He wanted to repatriate us back to Africa and say good luck to you.
And a lot of us wanted to go.
Exactly.
Right. So
when you go to Iberia and you see like Johnsons and people with these names like that, that's because they originated from here.
And that your thing kind of tied into something else I wanted to talk about.
Sure.
That kind of evolved last night. All throughout the media, kind of went viral. As a white girl by the name of Brianna Brochu. I think that's her name.
The girl that has the toothbrush ass.
It's something like that. And so I think the world needs to know about Jazzy Rowe. Now, Jazzy Rowe is the black girl who shared a dorm with this white girl. And I'm going to call her a white girl because that's what she is to me.
Okay.
She shared a dorm with her. And over almost a year's time span, the white girl didn't like Jazzy. And so she stuck Jazzy's toothbrush in her orifices down below. Bless you.
Yeah, I think it was that the anal.
And it sounds like both of them. She stuck them in her toothbrush in there. Put rotten clam juice in her facial soap. Put her dirty used tampons, wiped them on her property. Just a whole gamut of spit in her coconut oil. Just did a whole bunch of nasty stuff. And I sat back and I said, for one thing, I'm just keeping it real with you. Had that been me, they'd be looking for this girl. I'd have killed her straight up. I'd have racked up every penal code in the book trying to do something to this girl.
Was this white lady good looking?
I mean, since you brought it up, no, she wasn't good looking to me. But, by society standards, she's a white woman who can do nothing wrong. And not only did she do this to this black girl, she went on social media and bragged about it to the point to where the other people, because the black girl at this point was moving. Because... she had enough. Yeah, she had enough, but she didn't know why she was getting sick. The girl said she spent money that she was supposed to be spending on food at the doctor's because she had these really bad, severe sore throats and she was ill, and they couldn't figure out why. Well, they found out because this bitch was sticking, she's a bitch, was sticking her toothbrush up her. I mean, that made me mad, but I'm like, but they call us savages and uncivilized.
Right now, are you getting a little bit more upset because you have a daughter that is in college?
Yeah, but I know my daughter will whoop her ass.
Right. But no. What I'm saying is, Deanna can handle herself. But what I'm saying is, as a mother who has a child that's in college, knowing that there are people that are in college with your daughter that will do these things.
And to me, it's not a surprise. But what? And again, when white people own the media, they can control the narrative. And so you're not going to hear about this Brianna chick. Yeah. In fact, they were trying to expedite her through the court system.
Right, and get it over and done with.
And the university just put a ban her for life. But it's like, okay, what if this didn't go viral? How was this black girl going to have to fight for y'all to vindicate her? This lady, that's some biochemical warfare.
Well, what happened if the black girl ended up getting an infection that killed her completely?
Right. But so I'm thinking, but they call black women or black people savages. But yet, not only did you do this to this girl, but you got on social media and didn't fear any retribution for what you did.
See, I never understand why they call us savages because we're only killing ourselves.
Well,
and I'm not saying that's a good thing either.
No, it's not a good thing.
But what I'm saying is, we're not going into other neighborhoods.
See, this is the thing. That's that false narrative too. We're not any more savage than the next man because we know when you live in a certain close proximity with your own people, the murder rates and crime rates and all that. Because you go to Beverly Hills, this is going to be apropos to the people who live in Beverly Hills, the crime rate. Yeah. So that's just that false stuff. But what about black on black crime? Or black lives don't matter to black people? That's all bullshit.
Well, it's bullshit. But here's my thing. What's going on in Chicago and some of these combat areas? Where are the Congressional Black Congress to talk about this stuff and to do something about it?
Well, a lot of those people are up there lying on behalf of black people, or actually lying to black people, saying we are going to, promote the causes of black people once we get there. But we know when they get there, they take the money and run.
Right. Or are they just too busy doing the gay agenda or doing the Dream Act or they're doing everybody's agenda but ours.
Right. But I just thought, I just thought that we should talk about, what happened to this poor black girl at the hands of a savage ass little white woman.
So now that this has been exposed, is there any legal action around?
She has been arrested, but she bonded out to the tune of $1,000. The university did expel her for life. And Sean King made a good point. He says, when you do bad things, we're not going to make sure nobody ever forgets, because we know had this been the other way around, this black woman's face and picture and everything would have been all over the damn place.
Everywhere, and it already been it would have been a pre-gone conclusion of her prison.
Oh yeah. She had $1,000 bail.
No,
Where they do that at with black people?
No, they wouldn't do bail.
Right.
So yeah, that's something to think about. So for all you people that are going to college, be cognizant of your roommate and their background. These people now, because of Trump, like I said, I had a lot of respect for General Kelly, being a fellow soldier. But now that he's come out and showed his true colors, these people are emboldened.
Off the damn chain. And I'm going to tell you like this. It's been a long time since this sister here has been in a fight. But I tell you what, I'm like you. I'll dust them off quick. If it comes to somebody trying to, you can say whatever you want.
Right.
But if you're going to think you're going to pour something on me or put your hands on me, it's going to be the best fight you ever had.
Yes. The only person you let spit on you is that. No.
Watch out now.
No, but no. And again, I know we joke and stuff like that, but these are serious things that are going on in the world today. And national issues. Oh, so-and-so got an invasion. The first people they call on to do all the fighting is us.
Oh, and speaking of terrorism, you see all this nonsense that Trump got going on now. I mean, not what happened in New York is nonsense. RIP, the people got ran over on the bikes and stuff by the dude who I guess apparently is a terrorist. He is a terrorist. Okay. But like everybody else is arguing, so the dude in Vegas wasn't a terrorist.
Wait, is he a terrorist or is he another country's freedom fighter?
You tell me.
You got to think about it.
I mean, because to me,
in America, the founding fathers were called what in England?
Terrorists. And we got a lot of terrorists here. Exactly. But yet,
homegrown.
But allegedly somebody get out the car talking about Allah Akbar, then all of a sudden they're deemed a terrorist.
Right. Now, if we're talking about terrorism, the very first terrorist organization in the world was the Ku Klux Klan, and they still have a national organization. Why isn't the FBI investigating them?
And they being white people, a lot of white people, not all, have a problem denouncing them.
Right.
And they were created due to the end of slavery to terrorize free black people.
Right, to make them vote a certain way or don't vote at all.
Or to scare them back into slavery.
Right. Sharecropping and things like that. Skinheads, the national white, what's that, the white organization?
The neo-Nazis.
The neo-Nazi organization.
They're not terrorists.
These are terrorist organizations.
They're trying to protect blood and soil.
Right, but yet let this supposed guy come and we label him a terrorist. But can the president really label a American citizen a terrorist?
Well, apparently he has a hard time doing it because, like I said, the dude in Vegas who, mowed down damn near 600 people.
That millionaire? No. When you got money, you're above the law.
Issues
you're above the law. When you've got, when you're rich, you are above the law.
I mean, like you said, the founding fathers were the original gangsters.
Right, exactly. But yet people talk about knowing their history. Know your fucking history. We know our history to a point, but you'll be surprised at how many white people do not know their history.
Yeah, you're right. I totally agree with you. So
we're gonna get into something in the second hour. This was a great first hour. You guys check out DK on Sundays at 3:00. Do you have a topic coming up, or?
I'm sure there's so much because people have been asking, "Where you been?" So I have something.
We only missed a week.
It was 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. Because you had to.
I can have a vacation every once in a while, but I'm gonna be back strong.
Right. And let me tell you, Al Jackson from Houston came in as a guest host, did an excellent job.
He did.
A natural. I'm gonna have to go down there and assign him to a contract before he gets pushed up by CBS or something. Hey, if you gotta take the money to be a Steve Harvey correspondent, I ain't mad at you.
No, I don't know about all that.
So we're gonna get into a little bit more in the second hour. You guys, please stand by. This has been Loving the Skin. I'm in Donovan Sadiq, DK, 3 p.m. Sundays live on Facebook. You guys,
Pacific time.
Stand by.